So we both pay bills, but he pays for all of them because my check direct deposits into his account. So he can like have all the money in one place and we can save and stuff. And he like has investments that he invests our money into. He gives me an allowance of $100 a week. Like if I need more, I can ask for more, but you know, normally it's just like $100 a week for like food and like random stuff I want to buy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We both pay for stuff, but you know, he handles all the money as the man should.
All right, so now let's go to the comments and see how respectful the women were. 12,000 comments. Look at that. Girl, you lost me at your check deposit into his account. Right here it says, so he gives you an allowance over your money. Am I hearing that correctly? She said it was $100 allowance for me. Oh, he got you trained. Ain't nobody give me allowance on my own money. I was taught that the woman handles the money while the man brings it in. When I look at this type of stuff, I could tell we live in a lost generation. Because these are the same type of women who will want a man to provide for them. They wouldn't mind spending all the money of a man who's a provider. But if they make their own money, he can't have any type of authority over it. So it's the double standards for me. See, if you're not a Christian, you're not going to understand the system on how they doing things. My question is, if it works for them, what does it matter? As you can see in another video, it says 3 years absent and haven't kissed in a year, and they live together. So they're approaching life from a whole nother type of mindset and system other than the worldly system that a lot of people are on. I'm a Christian. I understand what they're talking about. Now, I'm not defending him for like taking all her money and stuff like that and giving her an allowance and things like that, because I'll get into that too, because that's kind of a little bit weird. But for me, just looking at how many women, there's 12,000 comments, and the majority of women were frustrated that she allows him to get his allowance. I mean, that she gives her all her money to him and he gives her an allowance in return. A lot of women were frustrated with that. Like, what y'all so frustrated for? If the tables will turn, y'all take all his money without even thinking, without even a second thought. Look at all the people who marry these celebrities and then they divorce them and they get 50%. 50% for the rest of their life of the millions that they earned, that those men have earned by themselves. I'm a Christian myself and I make pretty good money. So much so that my wife doesn't even have to work. So what do? I give her an allowance. Now, a lot of women are not going to like this, but I give her a certain amount of money for allowance. But I give myself the same amount of money for allowance as well. It's equal on both sides. But that's what works for us. We pay ourselves an allowance so that we don't overspend. We have a whole different mindset than people of the world. So, of course, you're going to get a lot of judgment. It works for them because they have the character and they have that trust. See, they both are accountable to God. They're both accountable to Jesus. And they trust that with each other. So for him to take all the money and invest in things like that, she's trusting the God in him. But a lot of y'all probably won't understand that because y'all going to look at it as religious. But she's trusting the God in him. And I understand that concept because that's how my wife and I are. You see what I'm saying? We at least try to be. Anyways, if y'all was wondering why they haven't kissed in a year and why they've been abstinent and they live together, it's because they're not married. They're engaged. And that's how Christians do. Christians usually don't live together before they're married. It's called shacking up. But they're not doing anything. So that's why.